Good morning. I think I'm live. I do believe I am. Tuesday morning, 10:24. I have not written in at least a month. And that's because I've been working hard on children's books with my wife. So, I mean, yeah, we've been writing that stuff, but I haven't been writing my regular fiction. I got my bedhead going on. Don't mind the mess. I'm working on this Patreon book. And it is no idea where it's headed. It's choose your own adventure thing. Mm. I'm gonna share this stream as soon as I can find a link. Anybody know how to keep a window on top of other windows? Like a smaller window on top of big windows? I know there's a way you can do it. I don't know how to do it. I will have to Google it. How to control space, whatever you want to stay on top. Control space? Is it that easy? That didn't work. That doesn't do it. Control F11. That didn't do it either. Lies. Hmm. Yeah, that does not work. Windows plus Shift plus T. I'm not going to install something. Yeah, I'm not installing something. That's just, that's not happening. I should move the mic closer. There we go. There we go. All right. Man, it has been a long time since I've posted for the Choose Your Own Adventure. Dang, man. Has it really been that long? What? Hmm. Wow. Wow. Okay. Christina, so nice to see you. How you doing? Are you still making lots of book covers? That's good. Busy is good. That's very cool. I've seen you do some really cool stuff. I am not open to commissions right now because of the children's book stuff. We're finishing up our second one right now, so all my artwork time has been spent doing that. It's been fun though. Very cool. Yes, working with Procreate on my. I think I told you I bought the. I can't remember what it's called, the gaming tablet, and I dropped like $400 on that, and that was probably not a great idea because I couldn't get Procreate out of my head. I'd never used it, but I kept seeing people use it, and it seemed so user friendly. The interface was just simplistic. And as you know, Photoshop and Clip Studio Art, I think it's called, they just can be so intimidating. And so I sprung for a iPad Pro, and then I got Procreate, and I've been using the crap out of it. It's much. I like it better for drawing. I mean, I've done some photo manipulation stuff with it too, but yeah, I love it for creating, you know, the illustrations and stuff like that. It's been a lot of fun. I like it. Procreate is just so I guess a lot of the stuff is just kind of hidden, you know, it's not all these buttons and stuff. And you can do so much with it. Yeah, okay, so yeah. It's it looks limiting, but it's just not. There's just so many cool things. And I learned by doing like, I don't know, like 20 different tutorials, you know, just like following along and doing these other people's artwork. Um, so essentially, it doesn't take a whole lot of talent to just follow along the steps that somebody gives you, but you really learn the program doing that. You can learn some cool techniques that you can use later on. Yeah, and the further I get away from Photoshop, it's kind of intimidating because I've sold a bunch of covers that later on once they get the page number of their book, you know, they want to pay for a full wrap, and then I get in Photoshop and I just kind of stare at it for a minute because I start to, you know, forget things with. I mean, not everything, but it just takes me a second because I'm used to mess around and Procreate. But this new children's book that's coming out, it's got a lot of. I'm using a lot of photos for texture, just like I would do, you know, on book covers. Instead of using brushes, I've been using, yeah, like I went to, I had a bunch of credits on Deposit Photos, and I just downloaded like 40 textures I thought looked cool. Everything from leaves to grass to different woods and, uh, you know, papers, stuff like that. And been using that with the illustrations, which is driving my wife kind of nuts because she doesn't know that part of it. She just likes the drawing part. She doesn't really know much about the photo manipulation stuff. But it's a cool different style than we did with the first book. So yeah, textures, they can make stuff so forgiving. You can have kind of like this, you know, especially with blending. If you've got photos that you're trying to blend and stuff, and you want it to be seamless, they can really cover up some mistakes, and they feel sometimes like almost like this cheat, you know. But then again, but they give it this artistic kind of character along with it too. So yeah, I love, but I want to learn to do textures with brushes too, because I have so many brushes. I downloaded a bunch, bought some, and so that's just a whole learning curve in itself. But I'm learning slowly. I've I follow a couple women on YouTube that do really cool Procreate artwork stuff, and I'm a patron of one of them. And she does these. I think it's called Art with Flow, and she's just a master at Procreate. And she does all kinds of different styles. Yeah, I got some Procreate brushes from her, and then I bought a watercolor package from some dude. Um, I can't remember his name, but he's got videos on YouTube. He's not a great artist, but his watercolor brushes are really cool, and he does some like watercolor type stuff. But art with Flow probably has my favorite videos on there. They're just really thorough. There's another woman, I think her name is Genevieve. She's got an accent. I think that's her name, and she offers brushes too. I think some are free, but I know they have brushes on Etsy as well. But you just got to be careful because some of these brushes are like, you know, I mean, you can make brushes yourself. I've seen videos that teach you how to do that too, which would be cool. I did make like a signature stamp as a brush, so I can just select that brush when I'm done with whatever piece of artwork I'm doing, and then there's my signature. Just tap it on the screen. There's my signature. That was kind of cool. But Art with Flow, she does everything from realistic stuff to like I did a realistic jumping spider with her and an eyeball, and then she also does just like simplistic uh, art too that would look great on the wall. I don't know what you'd call it, but and then she does Ghibli or Ghibli. I don't know how to pronounce that. Like Japanese cartoon stuff. She does some of that too. Just everything, and then the isometric rooms and buildings. She does some of that. Like covers all that like kind of stuff. It's great. I learned a lot just by following along with some of her videos. Yeah, which is what I like to do with my covers too. I like to make them just look all different. I'm not using Midjourney anymore. I feel like uh, we got forced out of that. I think I told you that my opinion of Midjourney at first, any AI art, I was very upset. Didn't want anything to do with it um, because I had just spent a bunch of money. I had bought a new PC. Uh, they got a subscription to Photoshop because I had been using Photoshop. I think it was called SC or CS2 or something like that, and I'd been using it for like 12 years, and it was free, but it couldn't be updated. And then every tutorial that I would see on YouTube, their UI, it was just different, you know. And they had some tools that I didn't have, so I sprung for Photoshop, which I wanted to buy outright. Didn't realize it was a subscription now. And then maybe 2 weeks later, after doing covers, that Midjourney came out, and people were doing that, and I was so pissed. And then I thought, I'll use it as a tool. So I've got covers that use AI, but there's like, you know, there could be like 5 or 6 different AI images that took me hours to create, and instead of just creating an image and slapping on some bad font on, which is a lot of what I'm seeing. And then so I just thought, well, this is going nowhere. This is only going to get better, and it did in a short amount of time. Now it's just insane. Now this stuff looks like photographs. And but then I just realized that, I don't know, with people boycotting and getting upset, I didn't want to make anyone mad, so I took the pre-mades that I made down. I mean, unless somebody wants AI in their thing, I don't know. I'm not. I canceled my subscription. I had a subscription to Midjourney using the private feature. You pay an extra $20 or $30 or something, so that nobody could ever steal the work that I created. It's all kept private. But yeah, just too much of a. I don't want to get crucified for that, man. Yeah, I'm sure you didn't either. It is a great tool first. And I would imagine one of these days, people are just going to have to accept it. I mean, I've seen AI art on a Lansdale book, but I've only seen that once. I don't know if it was changed. It's not on a book that's out yet, though. I've seen it on Netflix movie posters, album covers from some popular bands. Kind of surprising, but yeah, right now, too soon probably. Don't want to mess with that, piss anyone off. I may try to be a nice guy, not get involved in the drama of, you know. Yeah, I'm not really exactly sure how AI works still. I mean, the thing I think that a lot of people are overlooking is the fact that artists copy other artists all the time to develop their own styles. Constantly, people are Frank Frazetta, for example. I know a guy who paints like with a brush in real paints and everything. He does oil painting, and his stuff looks exactly like Frank Frazetta's. It's clear where he got his inspiration from. I've seen people rip off Musha so many times. I think Haley Piper has a book cover that's a straight up Musha ripoff, like the style, the art that the artist did. And we're always doing that, right? Musicians are doing that constantly. Every metal band past 1970 is just a different version of Black Sabbath. But for some reason, we can't do that thing with AI. So even though every other form is, like I said, it's just drawing inspiration from somebody else. And some artists out there just straight up copy the style 100% of an artist that they admire because they just like that art. Just the style, not the paintings. So I don't know. I don't know what the difference is, other than you're having a robot do it, which doesn't seem right. But I lost a couple jobs that I was doing as my career to voice recognition software, and so the job that I was doing for 13 years is just becoming obsolete now because essentially AI is taking over, and so I don't know. I do feel bad for some of these people who actually went to art school and they, went to college for years, and now their job is being threatened, and because somebody could master, Mid-Journey or whatever else is out there. Yeah, I know. My wife gets on me all the time about this hoodie, but I won't stop wearing it. So yeah, I feel bad for those people. Yeah, I've seen some people do the AI thing, and you can tell that they have no idea how to do like typeface. They don't know anything about font placement or color, complementary colors with the fonts, with the books. They just type on. They'll like, I don't know if they're just typing in like spooky, scary horror font or whatever, and they're grabbing a horror font and putting on this gorgeous AI thing. And yeah, the non-artist doing the cool covers. Yeah, I've seen some really bad font stuff, and makes me want to just fix it for free. I have done that before. I've offered to, but I don't. You don't want to offend anybody. Hey, your cover sucks. Um, I know it's a good book, so can I fix it for you? A good friend of mine has a great book that doesn't get enough recognition. It's an excellent book, and the cover is just not good. And he paid like $400 for it or something like that, and it's just. And I've wanted to redo that cover for years. Um, I will tell you, but I'll just tell you. First of all, the cover or the artist who did it is an absolutely phenomenal artist, uh, better than I'll ever be. Um, but the type of artwork that is on this cover, it's not a horrible cover. It just doesn't convey the awesome story inside, and that is John Bowden's "Walk the Darkness Down." Like I said, not a bad cover. It's not a bad cover. But for the book inside, it doesn't fit, and it's a pretty simple cover. So to be charged that much is kind of crazy. But and again, the artist is way better than I'll ever be. They're a phenomenal artist. Some of the stuff that they have done is just incredible. Yeah, John wrote "Walk the Darkness Down" before all the splatter westerns came out, and um, he's such a great writer. So to have that cover, I don't know. It's got more of kind of like a graphic novel type of feel to it, I guess. And yeah, his that book just doesn't get the recognition that all these splatter westerns do, even though it came out before, and it's arguably better than most of those. I highly recommend that book. You've never seen it before? Oh, it's so good. John's writing is beautiful in it, and it's got one of the coolest villains uh, I've ever read in there. It's very cool. I think it's still out. I can't remember who published it. Crossroad Press. That's right. Yeah. It hasn't been promoted very well, so that's all I'll say about that. Yeah. If you look at the guy's artwork, man, he's got some. I don't know if he has a website or just his Facebook page. He's really freaking good. But it would have been cool on a different book, I guess. Not that one. Exactly. I just went through that with um I have a book coming out next month called How the Skin Sheds, and it has had 4 book covers. Um, the first cover was uh, this was when Death's Head Press had different people running it. Things are much different now, much more organized, but they went through a really crazy, chaotic transition. And in the middle of that transition, or the beginning of it, um, they had a kid from, I think he was like from Brazil or something, who did a cover, and it was, man, it was really good. His art was so good. And um, one of the guys at Death's Head Press said they wanted more blood. They wanted to look more horror-y and have like blood and more blood or something on it. So uh, the kid took too long, I guess. He took like I don't know, 10 days, 2 weeks, or whatever, and the changes hadn't been made, but he agreed to do them. And so the guy at Death's Head fired this kid from all 12 or 13 books that were to be coming out, and grabbed somebody else. He grabbed this chick from Finland or something like that, and another good artist, but right away I could tell her art was not for these books, not for these splatter westerns. And they had lost Justin Coons because they couldn't afford his covers anymore or something. I don't know if he raised his prices or what happened. Um, but that was, they parted ways. There were like no hard feelings or anything, but I guess they parted ways. And so that's why they were looking for an artist to sign on for all 12 or 13 of the next season's books. Well, she did this cover, and I showed it to some people, and it's more of like a children's art style, and but very good art, just not for a splatter western book. Um, but I didn't say anything. I was trying to be kind of I didn't want to be the guy that was like being picky or whatever. And but some friends of mine were like, "Yeah, this is not." My wife was so mad. She hated that cover because it's like her favorite, one of her favorite books that I've written, if not her favorite. So she was so upset. And then so I think I finally did mention something, but I wasn't going to say, "Hey, let's get a different artist." I think I just, when I was asked, I think I said something. And so they fired her. Um, and then they got a guy. And then by this time, Dead Sky Publishing had become Death's Head Press. Death's Head Press became like an imprint. And then Stygian Sky Media, they replaced that name with Dead Sky Publishing, and the I think Dead Sky was going to be doing graphic novels and comics, and so they in that line as an imprint, but then they took the name and had made it the big thing instead of just the imprint. So I don't know what the imprint name is. I don't know. It's confusing, but um, so then they had their cover. They had their artist for the graphic novels do my cover of How Skin Shed. So this is the third cover. Great artist. If you're looking for something to do for comics or graphic art or graphic novel, because that's what it looked like. Looked like a comic book cover. And I said something after that was all done. The dude got kind of mad. He's like, "Well, why didn't you say something before?" I was like, "Well, I didn't. I'm not gonna. You guys are laying down this money. I'm not gonna say no or whatever. You're choosing this stuff." I was just going along. So, but I said, but honestly, I just think if you've got the same guy doing your graphic novel line as doing your westerns, I think you're going to confuse some readers. They're going to expect a graphic. This looks like it should be wrapped in plastic on a wire rack in the middle of a comic book store. And the book cover was done. And so finally they got Justin Kuhns back, who I was pushing for the whole time. So 4 covers. And it's because, like you said, certain style or art can be great, but not for the book. And Justin's art is great for these splatter westerns, which I've never read a single Death's Head Press splatter western. I probably should, but yes, he really is, very much so. I'll tell you what, though, who's putting that? I think Dead Sky is putting out the or Death's Head or whatever. It's putting out that anthology that Patrick McDonough is editing, and the art on that is perfect for like a retro western, horror western look. It is perfect. Whoever did that. You haven't read any of the splatter westerns either, huh? I anticipate some people being disappointed in mine because they want it to be, I don't know, just some kind of extreme horror, and it's not. Some people confuse extreme horror with splatter punk. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's gory, but it's not over the top and just for shock value. I'm just not that kind of writer. That's boring to me. So there will be maybe some hardcore people who want it to be more rapey or more visceral or something where every wound is described in thorough detail. And yeah, people won't be surprised by it if they've read my work before. I just think that like when I put Cannibal Creator out, there was some controversial stuff in there. There was a lot of death, a lot of gore, but because it wasn't extreme, I did read some reviews that were like, they were the kind of readers who they just want to read the nastiest thing they can possibly find, which that's fine if that's your thing, but that's not really what I set out to do. So I tried to tell a good story, like usual, but with horrific elements. Just not where that's what the whole book is about, is just trying to turn your stomach. Yeah, I don't really read extreme stuff. I did read my buddy's book, Womb, Duncan Ralston's book, and I enjoyed it. I thought the format of that, the way it was told, was really, really well done. I don't know, but I know some of this stuff is just like I like if I'm gonna see something for shock, or if I'm gonna be told a story like for shock value, then I want it to be visual, like a movie. I don't want to read about it. That just bores me. But yeah, I am ashamed to admit that I did enjoy Womb. I thought it was told really well. But yeah, I'd like to see really gory movies. That's fun. Just me personally reading it just is kind of boring, I guess. You like Womb too? What is wrong with you, Christina? I haven't read a lot. I read I would call it extreme, but Chuck Palahniuk has some stuff that's stomach churning, that transgressive stuff. But I hear about some of the scenes in some of these books by some of these extreme authors, and it's like just I don't know, it doesn't appeal to me. It just seems like it'd be something that would be really easy to write, just to get as gross as you possibly can. But there's an audience out there for it, that's for sure. Lots of people like that stuff. I'm just not one of them. Yes, Eric LaRocca stuff is. I read some stuff in there, and he asked me to blurb. I can't remember what the book's called. I don't think it's available anymore. It was a short story collection. I think he took that short story collection and turned it into something else with a different publisher or something like that. So I don't know what it's called now, but that was a great collection. It had some stories in there that really, really stuck out. Did you read the stories about? There was two that really stuck out. One was about I think it was about a woman who was um, supposed to be watching. I think it was her nephew, like baby nephew, and she was scared that she was gonna hurt the baby, like burn the baby to death. Have you read that one? And then there was another story in that collection um, about a man and his father, his elderly father, who are going on like this hiking trip up this hillside, and the son confesses his love for his dad, like sexual love, like he was in love with. Man, my hair is all kinds of like his like he was attracted to his dad. Um, that was I won't tell you what happens, but that was a really good story too. Thank you. So yeah, those both really stuck out. I didn't like what's the one book? Things have gotten worse since we last spoke. I didn't really care for that, but I always tell anybody who's read that, because a lot of people obviously read it and a lot of people don't like it, and I always tell people who don't like it, go read something else of his, because he's a great writer. and his prose that he tries to use in the email format um, uh, is doesn't work in that for me and for a lot of other people. But go read it in his short stories and give him another chance because he's a great writer. You were surprised by it? Were you surprised by well, first of all, the book had some excellent ideas, and I remember reading it and thinking, "I wish that I was beta reading this right now, and that I would tell Eric," not that he would change it, but I would say, "This is a fantastic book, but don't write it in this format. Write it like a normal thing because the ideas that you have in this book are so great, but you've gotta stretch out their relationship, and then you can use your gorgeous prose because the prose doesn't work in an email. It just, um, but yeah, there's so much. There were so many, and then what was it? The tapeworm and stuff, and um, it just deserved these ideas that he had deserved a like a regular like novel, I think. But I mean, kudos to him for trying something different. You know. Were you ever sent? Let me try to find it. Where's that book? I can't find it. Somebody had sent me a parody that they had written of things have gotten worse. Little tiny book. I can't remember what it's called. It's hilarious though. I was just wondering if you got that too. Yeah. Yes. Stank. That was entertaining. I know the author was just trying to pay homage. He wasn't trying to. I guess Eric got kind of upset about it, but um, he was just trying to pay homage, and I thought it was good. I thought it was funny. Yeah, Hamlin. I had heard about it, and people were posting pictures of it, and then Hamlin had asked me for um, a blurb for Wayward Sons, which I happily gave after reading that. And then when he sent me a copy of it, he sent another book of his and then that Stank book. And I was like, oh, this is who wrote this. Yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah, that's a good book. That's one of two books in a row where I felt like the writers really were paying attention to the things that I like. The other one was Wasps and the Ice Cream. I was asked to blurb that like, gosh, a year and a half ago or something. And yeah, both Tim and Hamlin, I felt like they get me. They know what they know what I like. So yeah, Wasp is great. Witchy, coming of age, sad. Yeah, that's a great book. Work along with me. Chasing around your kid, yeah. Yeah, it's hard to get stuff done when you're chasing your kid around. For sure. I'm glad those days are over. I raised 3 children, and now I'm watching, my son chase his toddler around, and my daughter, she's got kids. Yes, I'm a grandpa. I've been a grandpa for, I think 12 years now. I'm trying to think of how old my oldest yeah, 12 or 13 years. I'm an old man. Grandbabies are fine because you don't have to, you know, when you don't have to deal with the stuff that other, that you just push them away and go, okay, it's your turn. You take care of your kid now. So you get like the benefits of hearing all the crazy stuff that they say and hanging out and stuff, but then you don't have to deal with all the other stuff, stressful stuff or whatever. Don't want any more kids? Yeah. My kids are all like 8, 9, 10 years apart. So it feels like we still have one living here who's 18, and it feels like we've been raising kids forever because of the gap in their ages. Because when one leaves the nest, we still have another 10 years with this one, another 10 years with this one. One and done. That's how my sister is. Yeah, she's got it. She just wants one and one kid. And now that kid is 16. Yeah. Yeah, man. I watched my son because he's got his kid now is only a year and a half, going on a year and a half, I think. And I just watch him change diapers and stuff and think, thank God I don't have to do that anymore. I never minded it at the time. It's just I think when you get older, you're over it. But yeah, raising my kids, changing diapers and dealing with whatever nonsense they had, it was fun. It was just part of life. But now that I'm in my 30s, um, it's different. It's like, oh, I can't do that. I'm too old for that. Yeah, I've got one of my best friends. He is, man, how old is Jeremiah? He's like 40. He's in his mid 40s, and his wife is having another, or just had another kid. I think he just had another kid. And they have like 7 kids. I'm gonna mute this. Hold on. Thanks, Christina. Sorry, I'm still on the phone. Yeah. All right, I'm out of here, folks. Whoever stopped in and just watched from afar the chatting between Christina and I, or tried to chat, but I couldn't see it. Sometimes that happens. Thanks for stopping by. I might as well take the time to plug my own stuff. ChadLutsky.com has all my books on, links to all my books on there. Some pre-made covers I made, a blog that I rarely do anymore. and yeah, stuff like that. So go check out my book. I do not have a link to the children's book that I just did with my wife called "Where's My Cat Tonight," but that is available on Amazon um, under my name. So if you want to just search for my name, you can find that children's book for your young reader between the ages of 2 to 6. Um, we were working on the second one, not in a series, just our second book. We're nearing the end of the artwork for that, and hope to have it up within the next maybe 2 to 3 weeks. So until next time, thanks for your support. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.